Today's technical day drive will be at Lidsdale State Forest and Marrangaroo National Park. It's around half an hour from Lithgow and 2 hours from Sydney, on the fringes of the beautiful Blue Mountains. The Marrangaroo National Park follows the Cox River between Lake Wallace and Lake Lyell. It has deep waterholes and shady trees. The peaks in the park reach almost 1200 meters above sea level, where snow gums may be seen. You probably have a good day of four-wheel driving in the park, and the tracks really range from normal fire trails to medium level tracks and some reasonably hard four-wheel drive tracks. This is the infamous Hell Hill. As usual, the video really doesn't do justice how steep that track is. However, if you pick your lines properly, that can be easily driven. With the loose, shaly surface and deep ruts and holes, it is important to try to maintain contact with all four wheels and avoid wheel lift so that you have enough traction, because the track, as mentioned, is pretty steep. This hill is also often referred to as Fire Truck Hill, because a fire truck rolled down there some years ago. However, the actual hill where the fire truck rolls is around 600-700 meters from this hill. If you ever have to reverse back on this hill, it is really important that you reverse back in a straight line and don't get in an angle there, because that is when really drama can happen. It's a long way down. The Powerline track has a few deep puddles and one interesting section. I hadn't driven these for a while, and it turns out that actually part of that interesting bit is now blocked by big trees. I got a little bit hung up here and had to reverse. On the left hand side you see the tree which now blocks part of the track, and that was a very interesting off-camber section where, especially when you're going down, it felt pretty awkward. This is a pretty long Cox River crossing. It's probably around 200 meters. I've driven it many times and I know the water levels by seeing the edge of the water. However, if you haven't driven that before, it pays to walk it because it can get reasonably deep after a lot of rain. Unimog Hill, haven't done that for a while. It is damn loose. Dave is first. Easy. Unimog Hill is a short but reasonably challenging trek, and there are quite a few videos on YouTube of people very closely avoiding disaster, rolling their cars. So the video again doesn't do it justice. It is pretty steep, and when you have to climb up that step, it definitely is interesting. though in comparison to last time there is actually now kind of a track to the left which takes that big step out and makes it a bit easier.
Watch your bank.
Go on. Beautiful. Nice. Keep on.
Drive forward, right hand lock, drive it.
You sure notice how steep the hills are when you have to walk them back up. The next track is Pajero Hill, a very long windy hill climb with some super deep ruts, crossover sections and one very angled big rut where you can easily scrape your panels. And that is exactly what Steve is trying to avoid here on his Defender and is packing some rocks and dirt to bring that side a little bit up. Diff clearance is everything here, as the middle ridge really pokes out, and if you don't have a maximum diff clearance it's very easy to get stuck here. This track is perfectly suited for tiny with the portal axles where I have diff clearance galore. However, everything has pros and cons, and tiny with a fair bit wider wheelbase does not always fit in tracks of the other vehicles. Next was Dave in the mighty JK with 35-inch tires. He did a very easy run there.
Nice.
Next was Mark in his Land Rover County. John, as always well prepared, had a pick with him, so Mark decided to do a bit of road work and smoothen out that crest of the rut a bit. Mark has some 33-inch maxi bighorns, but he has no lockers, he only has a front and rear ATB limited slip diff. This shows quite well the limitations of a torque biasing limited slip diff.
Night.
Right up the middle.
With a bit more road building and persistency, Mark managed to get the county up here as well. Next it was Mark's turn in the Defender 130. With his ultra strong but also big Salisbury rear diff, he did not have enough diff clearance. Fortunately, the Salisbury also doubles up well as a grader, and that did the job. Last but not least was Damian in the Patrol. After all the road building, he drove it with conviction and made it look easy.
Beautiful.